'cause you make me believe. Well, since my baby left me. I found a new place to do. God damn, I wonder if I can make this microphone a little bit squeakier when it moves. Holy shit. Ah, all right. We just got through telling the tale, learning the tale, experiencing the tale of little Jimmy Ito, and now it's time for Free for All Friday. Hey, Wolverine. Now I wonder too, am I doing too much today? Will Susan be willing to grace us with any notifications? Crazy E, what I do, Lex? Just I saw that in the chat in the video, Wolverine. Got a DVD hung up in the player. Lex, I couldn't have done nothing wrong yet, could I? Oh, we got some glitches and a lack of notifications. Yeah, well, you know what it is too, Lex. Now, we just had that premiere, so that's the second video I uploaded today. I'm wondering if, like somebody suggested earlier, it's kind of starting to seem to be the case to me. It's like Susan only wants to allow you so many notifications per day. That could actually be the case. As stupid as that would be, I would certainly not put it past Susan. Let's see, Spaz Teabag. Yeah, I wish I'd have been that original with a finisher, Joel. I had told you guys a story. The most original finisher I was ever going to do was the sodomizer. I told you guys that story before. Oh, you know what though? This might be partially my fault. This stream was actually scheduled to go on at 1:40, so we'll see. Maybe the notifications will go out now that it just clicked over to 1:40. Lick says, "How dare you not alter time for me to watch the story of our favorite boy on time?" Little Jimmy Ito. Hey, Alexandria. But we'll find out now. We'll see if people start finding their way here now. That'll tell us if it was my fault because the stream was scheduled for 1:40, or if Susan's just being a Susan again. I don't know why they call it Karen's. They should have called it Susan's. The political channel here in the Discord is a mess. If you say anything against the left, you get jumped, do you? Really, in our Discord? I'm surprised. Wouldn't you guys say generally when we have have conversations of a political nature here in the streams, it seems to me it leans more right. I mean, we've definitely got both sides covered, but it seems to me we lean more right here. Really, I'm surprised to hear that. Cody says, remember when I talked about 60 seconds last stream? Yeah, I forgot space counterpart 60 parsecs. Great game, except in like 60 seconds you can repair and upgrade items. Oh, that's cool. Joel says, Curtis, being a wrestling fan, can you tell me how Ric Flair's figure 4 hurt? Well, when we apply it in wrestling, you don't apply it fully. You don't put all the pressure on it. You could blow out somebody's knee with that if you legitimately applied the pressure. It's like a Kimura, just using your legs instead of your arms. It's the exact same principle. But yeah, you leave. It's uncomfortable to be in, even when you're not laying it in there. As a matter of fact, I'd have to fuck off, Train. I have it on video, but it's on VHS. I'd have to get it transferred over. One of the titles I won in a Candyland match using a figure 4. Big Green says, yeah, in the streams, but the server is kind of special. Well, that's why I was surprised. You would think this. Should we go in? Should we go in and take a look? See if Susan sends out any notifications. Meantime, let's see. It'll probably be easier for me to go in the Discord in a browser while I'm doing this. Let me just browse up the Discord and we'll take a look. All right. Open Discord in your browser. I'll keep an eye on the chat too, guys. I think Susan has enough cringe to fill every Karen cringe compilation on her own. I agree, Lex. So what the hell Discord am I in here? This isn't mine. How the hell did I get to this? Ah, shit. I gotta go into my icon picture here. I don't know how to get to my own Discord. Let's see. What if I um do 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 do. Okay. How already I run. I'm gonna have to go in on the Discord app itself. Hold on. Let me catch up on chat here. Zeno says, "Hello, great to be here." Now, question: what the fuck did I watch before this?
Oh
What, you didn't like the
yeah.
story of little Jimmy Ito, Zeno? He had such a tough life, and he was about to become the hero he had always dreamed of being. I just thought, it was such a story of triumph. No, tragedy, triumph, then tragedy, as I put in the title. Let's see. Cody says, my social studies teacher talked about getting a COVID vaccine today. She's scared of needles, so everyone in the class comforted her. Man, it's unusually rare for middle schoolers to be nice. It is. It is. Wow. That's kind of cool. That's good that everybody was decent to her. Hold on, I'm going to open up the Discord now. Oh, got to install some updates. I'm just surprised to hear that you guys are telling me that the political. Okay, let me find the political section. Is very. There's the Patreon group. Okay, so it's got to be in here. Now where's general memes? I can't even find the political section. Jail, staff, Discord. Where the hell is it? I go by it. YouTube notifications, announcements, links, giveaway. General. Is it a subsection somewhere? I'm not even seeing the It's not in M perverts. Wouldn't be in sanctuary. No, this is political containment zone. Is that what we're talking about? Then they say. Okay. So here's where we're having to go around. Says bitch and heat was a poor joke, nothing more. You might I can't think of it. Okay, I'm not catching all of what was said. I'd have to go all the way back to the top of it to catch it all of that discussion. But I'm surprised to hear it didn't. Just from the quick glance I took at it, it didn't seem to be so much everybody leaning left as it seemed to be just somebody was taking exception to something someone else said. Anthony says that Spaz Voice comedy the best keeps striving. Also, what was that little Ito video? Just saw off my chair laughing so hard. You know what it all came from though, Anthony and everybody. I like the idea of just doing those voiceover videos. It's just fun to put your voice to. And I know there aren't a ton of football fans in here, but the first one I did was last night. That wrong way run, and that kind of stuff cracks me up. I don't know how well it'll play here, but I figured it was too boring to just do that little last second basketball shot as a voiceover without giving it a little bit of backstory. So that's what I came up with for a backstory because I have issues. Rosalina says, speaking of vaccines, my nan got her vaccine yesterday and has not changed her lifestyle at all. Her lifestyle has remained the same throughout and before the lockdown. Oh, yikes. Slau says, hey Kurt, long time to see. Good to see you again, my friend. I've been hunting for a decent car for a while now. Got any car buying advice? I wouldn't want to give you any, Sal, just because I don't really follow vehicles anymore. When I was younger, I was somewhat into them, but now I couldn't even make a good comparison. I've got mine. I'm happy with mine. I did a little research. I got a Chevy Trax a couple of years ago. I like it. Cool little car, but I wouldn't want to give anybody advice just because I'm afraid it would be bad advice. I don't have enough knowledge. Social Mute says, Happy Friday, Curtis. We'll be having a look at the Super Bowl this Sunday, and who's your pick to win? Totally not relying on you for a bet. If I bet anything on it, Social Mute, it's just going to be some of the exotics. Yeah, if you break it down man for man, you got to think Kansas City's going to win. But Tampa Bay's defense is decent, and again, it is still Tom Brady. And no matter what else can be said, he knows the game inside and out, and he finds ways to win games. So that would make me a little concerned. If I play anything on it, I saw yesterday. I was a fan of Leonard Fournette back when he was at LSU. He's a beast, and he's been dinged up. He was dinged up a lot while he was in Jacksonville. He's been dinged up this year. The last few games, he started to come around, and if he gets on track, he's as near unstoppable as there is, short of Derrick Henry in the league right now. So what I'm thinking of doing is, if I bet anything, it was 25-1 on him winning the MVP. I'd probably put a couple bucks on a long shot and play Fournette to win MVP. Rosalina says, vaccines are all the rage these days. Can't wait to get juiced up. Not going to lie. Let's see. Poppy says, Mom got a vaccine. I'm getting done tomorrow. Now, Dad is moaning why he's not allowed one just yet. You know what's really odd about these vaccines? Well, a lot of things are odd about the way the vaccines are being distributed. Now, you guys know my daughter has multiple disabilities, so her doctor wants her to get vaccinated. We've been trying to arrange it for her. They still won't give her one. But even though we're not senior citizens, my wife and I, we're not over 65, since we're older and taking care of her, we can get them. Is there a lot of logic in that? I mean, there's none available, but we're on the list. And as soon as some become available around us, my wife and I can get them because we care for her, but she is not eligible for them yet. Okay. Joel says, Curtis, how's the figure 4 work? No offense to nature, where his finisher looks more weird than painful. No, like I say, if you were to put pressure on that, you can pop a knee. You can dislocate someone's knee. It's a Kimura. It's the exact. I don't have anything to demonstrate on near me, but it's the same thing. It's a figure 4. We call them a figure 4 leg lock is the same thing as a figure 4 arm lock, which is now referred to as a Kimura. It just takes their bone or their joint, and you manipulate it with your bones and your joints in a figure 4 design. It's just done with the legs instead of the arms. Same thing as a Kimura, though. We're just talking about that. Blue Morpho says, who do I think wins the Super Bowl? I think go either way. Again, if you want to bet it just on who's the better team, I think Kansas City's the better team. Does the better team always win? Not even close. I am always afraid of betting too much money against Tom Brady. He just, again, not, you can say whatever about his skills having slacked off some and so on and so forth, but he's just one of these guys. He knows the game and he finds a way to win. Yeah. So if I bet it, I probably won't bet a team like I was saying earlier. I'll just bet one of the exotics or a couple of the exotic bets on it. Zeno says, just watched Attack on Titan Season 4. Latest episode made me upset. Really, Zeno? I can imagine there's going to be a number of episodes that make us upset in that. I can't wait until it's time to get to that. I can't wait. Black Master says, poor Jimmy Ito couldn't handle the defeat. I hope you guys enjoy those. I like doing those. The only thing is doing that voice. When I get the next song I want to do, when I get that written, I'm not going to be able to have done any of the voiceover vids because, man, just doing that voice destroyed my throat for a while. Destroying my throat. Going good, Monkey King. Good to see you again, pal. Glad you're in. Is anybody, I'm just curious because I'm trying to get a handle on this. Is anybody getting notifications? Did most of you guys just find your way here from referrals, or did you actually get notifications? Because I'm starting to think that this is a case of what someone had suggested to me, and Susan gets bitchy about giving notifications if you're uploading or interacting with your channel too much in a given day, since we had already uploaded 2 videos. Excuse me. Poppy says, my mom got vaccinated early because they had spare samples, which if not used in 8 hours, they need to be chucked out. Right. So her and a bunch of her colleagues vaccinated each other. And that's how it should be, Poppy. What we've had happen here in New York, they actually threw some out. Early on, some vaccines were thrown out because they, like you say, they have to be kept frozen and they only have a shelf life of X amount of hours. So they didn't have enough people in the categories that were eligible. So rather than just grabbing anybody who wanted it, because you want to get the whole country vaccinated, at that point they just should have grabbed anybody and everybody that wanted to get vaccinated. They threw them out. Well, we couldn't do it. Legally, we couldn't do it. We were told only to give the vaccines to people on the list. Our government is so fucking dysfunctional at every level. It's horrifying how dysfunctional it is. Rosa says, Curtis, I think Susan is sick. I got a notification. So some did go. Chrome saw it on Discord. Lude saw it on Discord. No notification. So far, Rosa's the only one. Didn't get notified. Didn't found the video after a little Ito vid. And Lude did get notified for the videos. I'm wondering, guys, I had never heard that before, but it was fairly recently. Somebody here in one of the chats said that they believe Susan stopped sending out notifications which makes no sense to me. You would think it would be to their advantage to want us to interact with our channel as much as possible, but it wouldn't surprise me with YouTube. Zeno says, spoiler alert, Jimmy Ito didn't win. Poor Jimmy Ito. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Chrome says Cuomo is a monster and idiot. I agree on both points. 100%. He's just absolutely the worst. And Poppy was alerted by Wolverine. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's one of those days. Like I say, Rosa got one, but it's one of those days that extremely limited numbers of notifications went out. And it really pisses me off when she does that on Free for All Friday. It's it's all of us. I think it's our favorite stream of the week, and just got to pick that day. I'm gonna have to start picking my spots better with uploading videos and doing streams, I guess. Maybe the days I got too many uploads here, I'll have to stream something over at the gaming channel instead or something like that. Leslie didn't get notified. Yeah. Big Green's internet doesn't like Free for All Friday. Well, you can't really blame your internet, Big Green. Free for All Friday, Free for All Friday is definitely an acquired taste. We all know that. Krusty Bomb says Zuckerberg versus wannabe Rasputin Jack Dorsey. Who do you think wins in a fist fight or just fight in general? Oh, wow. I think that would be the ultimate pussified battle. Krusty Bomb. It's not even who would win, it's who would lose less. I can't imagine either one of those pussies actually throwing a punch. I don't know. When you're that much of a mushroom, both of them, the fight's gonna be, which one of them gets blown over by a gust of wind first. Joel says Terminator, Predator, RoboCop. Who's more badass? Terminator. I love the Terminator. Not that Predator and RoboCop aren't cool, but I'm a Terminator guy. Those are fun, Monkey King says, I love the green screen videos when you put yourself into a scene in the anime. Yeah, those are fun. Those are fun. I gotta make some corrections to my green screen. I need to be able to green screen a larger area, and I gotta figure it out somehow within this room. Yeah, good point. Lude says whoever wins, we lose most by wasting our time on that fight. Yeah. I can't see it being much of a fight. I'm thinking of with those the commentary videos that, like the football one last night and the Jimmy Ito one. I'm thinking of doing that over some street fights too. Spaz Dev says, yeah, I'm always looking forward to Free for All Fridays to make my Fridays better always. Me too. I get so jacked up for Free for All Friday. That's why it pisses me off so much when Susan refuses to give us notifications especially on the Fridays. And what happens a lot of the time is after the stream, and I mean hours and hours later, I start getting people coming in either to the comments or private messages or on social media saying, oh, just got my notification now. Fucking Susan. Oh, it's funny. And Zeno brought up this exact same thing as we're talking about it. I didn't get notification. For some reason, I get notifications 1 to 2 days late, sometimes later in the week. How is that possible?
Oh,
how can you be a
yeah.
company the size of YouTube, owned by a company the magnitude of Google, and you can't do something as simple as send out notifications? I don't understand how that can be difficult for their engineers. Rosa says, I got to go get my Class B exam like tomorrow and move to Texas by the end of the week. I got to drive 16 miles to the place for my test. Lots of traveling for me coming up. Got to go get my Class B exam like tomorrow. Wow, Rosa. Yeah, you're going to be bouncing around a lot. Get that Class B test under your belt, though. Yeah, again, good field to be in right now. The pay is good. Chrome says, God, all three of those franchises have gone down the tube now. Terminator killed John Connor. Predators now inject themselves with autism. No joke, it was the plot of the last film. Oh, yikes. And RoboCop reboot. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Chrome. Three absolute legends that, to put it mildly, that maybe a little bit of the shine has been rubbed off. I'm doing good, Christopher. Doing really good. Monkey King says, "Yep, I love Free for All Friday. And last stream you did, I got notified as you just stopped streaming. I, I see, and I don't understand. I have a little bit of knowledge of programming and how those things work, but that's beyond me. How can that even happen? In the sense that when you program something, and again, for a company like YouTube, it's got to be simple. When you program something where X plus Y equals Z, okay, when the user takes this action, send out this notification. How can there be a time delay in there or anything? You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? Butters. But I don't understand how that's even possible. It's not like it's not like a human has to sit there and wait for us to start live streaming and then go, oh shit, I better send out notifications. That's what confuses me about it. Krusty Bomb says RoboCop reboot. What do they do? Turn him off and back on again? Yeah, his green light was blinking. Maybe Susan might be on the white stuff right now, Zeno says. That would at least explain a lot, Zeno. It just, again, things like the notifications, I guess it'll never be clear to me. I'll never understand that. We could have the streams, well, not that we don't, but I mean, we could have our whole community in here all the time if they could just conquer the simple machination of sending out notifications. It just sucks. Tyler says they might have your channel blacklisted or something. I don't think so, Tyler, just because other YouTubers go through the same thing. It's you hear it from everybody. I would be paranoid about it if it weren't for the fact that I know it goes on for everybody, not just with live streams, but with video uploads as well. And I hear that from a lot of big streamers. Even will say they know. Well, their subscribers tell them that every so often they just don't get notified. So it's not just us, unfortunately. It's just a glaring YouTube fuck up. RoboCop is a great movie, one of my favorite action movies. Spaz Dev says, "Yeah, I haven't seen that in years, Spaz Dev, but I like that one a lot. It was really well done." Yeah, we're just talking about
Oh,
that, Morgan. She says, "Wow, no
yeah.
notification. Meeting soon, but hi." Well, thanks for popping in while you could, Morgan. Yeah, that it's all we can figure, Morgan, is maybe because I uploaded a video early in the day, and then right before the stream we had that premiere, and Susan probably just said, "Okay, that's enough notifications." Did they even send out notifications once the premiere went live? Let me see how many views it's got. A lot of times I can tell. I'm thinking no. Um, just because it's going so slow for views, unless the view count is off. I'm thinking that we didn't even get a lot of notifications there. Who knows anymore? You just, if it weren't for the fact that because of the anime reactions, I have to keep everything at the Patreon behind a paywall, I would move most things to the Patreon, but I don't want everything we do to be behind a paywall. And as long as we're doing, the anime reactions over there, just at least with Patreon, no matter what we post, no matter what we do, you guys at least get notified of it. And then I just use, when we're just having chat streams, I'd use that software that they offer over there. I'd pay for that. And then it's real time. That software is pretty cool. It's not, Patreon just recommends it, but it works in concert with Patreon. It is actual real time interaction. It's pretty badass. But again, I got to keep everything. I can't allow anything to not be behind a paywall, because then things happen like happened with our Vimeo account if you do that. Monkey King says, Curtis, you watched one Robaz video in Skyrim. You should watch some of his Hitman gameplay videos. Many of them are hilarious. Knowing your taste, I think you'd find them hilarious. Probably Monkey King. I just, again, I don't really have spot for any more reaction videos. It's because we got so many different things that we watch right now. Joel says, Hisoka sees Gon fight one more time, he'll get an erection the size of a mountain. Yeah, Hisoka's one of the all-time greatest creeps ever. It's funny how it's so widely, almost universal, that while everyone recognizes that Hisoka is a creep and a freak, but everybody just still, for whatever reason, still likes him. Chrome says, hell, at least Patreon's never bothered the channel or community. Right. They've let us be pretty much. Only issue was Vimeo, which was someone else is doing. Right. Exactly, Chrome. No, I have to give it to, and like anybody else, Patreon, I don't always agree with everything they do. As a matter of fact, I got to pitch a little bitch to them right now, because the good thing about Patreon, typically when they screw something up, is because they're trying to make improvements. Fuck off, Shane. And just things fuck up along the way. Like right now, it's very important to me. I need on my Patreon, I need to be able to have that search bar so I can search back to my videos. There's several thousand of them there when I'm looking something up or referring to something. And that's gone right now. I know it's gone just because they're working on upgrades, but I'm going to have to send a note to tech support and say, hey, are you guys aware of this? And it's kind of important to get it back. But for the most part, no. Patreon is so much more supportive than YouTube. And when you do have an issue, you don't get a canned response. Somebody gets back to you from Patreon, and they do their best. That's why I always tell people, like, if there's an issue with billing or something like that, and people ask me about it in private messages over there, I tell them, contact support. They're really one of the better supports you'll ever get. And most people end up agreeing with me. They usually clear stuff up for you right away. Again, if I didn't have to keep everything behind a paywall, I would put a big hunk of the content over there instead. I could do it on both. It just would take up too much of my time. Then I wouldn't get to be able to make as much content as I want. But again, as long as the anime reactions are there, and those are always going to be there, I got to keep everything behind a paywall. Spazdev says, I would like to be at the Goose so I can support you, but I just haven't gotten around to actually supporting but will soon. Oh, that's no problem, Spazdev. Like I say, again, the only reason I don't have or even have a section of the Patreon, certain videos and stuff left open is I can't take any chances. Because as soon as I skirted things a little bit to try and let more people see what's going on, like what happened with Vimeo, our Vimeo account got closed. So I got to keep everything behind a paywall over there. Zeno says, do tags still work as a sort of makeshift search? Yeah, but what happens for me, Zeno, is a lot of times what I'm searching for, and yes, the tags are yes and no. Typically they work well. Sometimes for unknown reasons, they just don't seem to find their mark. But a lot of times I'm searching for specific things that I may not have tagged, but I know that there is a word in a title or something that I'm looking for. So that's why it's kind of important for me to have that. Don't put it back. I'm positive it's just something that got damaged while they're doing upgrades. Brother E says, we here in Spaz Boys Comedy have a personal beef with Trouble because only Curtis is allowed to use sticky stuff. Essentially, he stole your devil fruit. I know, too. That kind of pissed me off, Brother E. He's throwing sticky stuff around like that. And all right, you can make the case that, yes, he was throwing sticky stuff around first, but I don't care. We throw sticky stuff around here better, as far as I'm concerned. And that snotty bitch shouldn't be stealing our gimmick. You shouldn't call it sticky stuff. You should call it snotty stuff. Listen, they like to hit us with copyrights. I'll go hit them with a sticky stuff copyright. God damn it! If Trouble ever comes out with an officially licensed sticky stuff fanny pack, we're really gonna have a problem. Kordeko says, this channel is my absolute favorite. You are so hilarious, especially that Thanos thumbnail. Thanks, I appreciate that. That was actually, that Thanos thumbnail was something that was just made for me by one of the gang here, a couple of years ago. I've got a whole folder full of, any fan art, anything like that that gets sent to us. I keep it all. And that one I thought was just blended so well, done so well, I kept it and turned it into a thumbnail for streams. Wolverine says, what's happening where you're at in One Piece? Well, we're right in the Dressrosa arc. Right now, I'm just one episode after it was revealed that the one-legged soldier is actually Kyros. Now, that was a mind blower. That was that was insane. Sticky stuff copyright. Monkey King says, yeah, fucking guy throwing sticky stuff around. Again, he should call it snotty stuff. It's snot. My stuff is the actual sticky stuff. Jack Queen says, apologies for being late. Ever tried to help someone and had it all thrown back in your face? Yes, because that's the day I'm having. Oh, that sucks, Jack. Yes, I can sympathize. I know exactly what you're talking about. Philip says, it occurs to me that at 24 I'm older than Onizuka, who is an adolescent hero of mine. It's something of a shock. When you get to things like that, I know what you're saying, Philip. A character that you admired as a child. And I think in our minds, you maintain that perspective and looking at that character in that aspect. So I get what you're saying. When you realize, hey, he'll never let you forget that you're older than him, because every other minute he's saying, Akichi Onizuka, 22 years old bachelor, Onizuka, 22 years old horny, whatever the case may be. He's always announcing it. Oh, yeah. I love his expressions. Christian says, dang it, Curtis, why do you always stream while I'm at work and don't get to sit and watch the whole thing? Hustle up and take my money, but still. Well, thanks, Christian. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about that. This is typically the part of the day. I try, as you guys seen, I try and mix them up here or there, but this is typically the part of the day where I can fit it most seamlessly into my schedule. And see, something always has to give. And again, I'm not complaining. Everything I do, I enjoy. It's just I just wish there were more hours in the day. Like today, you Goosher saw there wasn't a G100 video today, but that's just because I wanted to make the little Jimmy Ito video. And again, there's only X amount of hours, so it has to be one or the other. Schmuck says, just a German comment passing by. Hope you're doing well. Well, thanks, Schmuck. I appreciate that. A little bit of Germany just flashed through. Hey, Winstone. Good to see you, pal. Rosa says, Curtis, I have an amazing idea. Start your own video streaming server. I wish I could. I bet it'll be easy. Just make Spaz Kid drop out of college so you can fund it. Yeah. Like I say, Rosa, if it weren't for the fact that I have to keep everything behind a paywall there, I would just open up a lot of content to the Patreon, and then just when I make videos here at the YouTube, keep pushing people, say, listen, for the bulk of the content, please just go to the Patreon instead. We can get away from here more and more. Or just go upload everything to the Patreon first and then just upload it here as I get time. But again, I have to keep everything, even though it's only $1 at the lowest level, I still have to keep everything behind that paywall. Monkey King says, what if I told you that you look like Nappa too? Yeah, no question. I think I look most like Thanos, like Caucasian Thanos. And right behind that would be Rick from Pawn Stars. I think of all the ones I get, I think those are probably the two most spot on. Noah says, hello there, old follower here. Are there still any Frank videos you didn't watch yet? I would love to see more Frank reactions again. I don't remember offhand. I'd have to go through them all. I know I saw all the ones that I really wanted to see that had caught my attention. But it's been so long, I'd have to go back through all of them to see. Oh, cool. Okay, thanks, Chrome. She says, oh, yeah, by the way, Curtis, I'll start sending you the next One Piece cover pages next week. You'll really like these sets. Very cool. Winston says, what's your favorite vacation you've ever been on? Mine is when I went to New York City in 2016. I, I'm a Disney freak, Winston. And don't get me wrong, I've had great time. Well, of course, I'm in New York City. For us isn't a big deal. It's only a 3-hour drive. I love going down to the city. I love time that we've gone to Myrtle Beach, stuff like that. But we're Disney fanatics, absolute fanatics, guys. I want so much. You know, you guys know I started, opened a Disney Channel, Theme Park Grandpa, and I'm really thinking about maybe investing in going down to Disney and doing some live streams from there. I just don't see any. I don't think it's something. Again, time is my big thing. If I do that, I'm going to be taking away from other content I create. I would never take away from the core stuff. Don't worry. Everything will stay the same at the Goosh. There'll still be the reaction videos here at the channel. But anything else I wanted to experiment with, and to be honest, I think financially it would be such a hit because I don't know that I could get away with doing it. And certainly not with the travel expenses involved as well. My wife and I, being huge Disney nuts, our favorite thing is to watch live streams from Disney. Guys, the people streaming from Disney, and there's a lot of them, they're just so bad at it. Not even technically so much. Technically, they do all right. It's like, and I don't want to be harsh to anybody, but they just don't have any skill at relating with an audience, and like while you're in line for a ride, trying to help keep a conversation moving and keep it interesting and fun for everybody, and it's tough to watch. Christian says, no, Curtis, you're our Butterbean of wrestling. I tell you though, Butterbean, we all have a good laugh about him, but he made a great career out of knowing his limitations. And in those 4-round fights where he could just throw bombs, he was a pretty potent guy. I mean, when he started expanding out into mixed martial arts and stuff, he was getting too far away from his comfort zone. But aside from that, he made a lot of money with a very small skill set of being a bomber. Social Mute says, as a Disney commuter over at the Paris one, many times thanks to my wife, how many times in a row on It's a Small World is too much for you to jump off the boat and walk away? Once for me. A good friend of ours, it's like her very favorite ride. Well, here, let me take a look at something, guys. I'll be away for just a second. Let me see if any of the streamers I know are streaming right now. If they are, I'll give you guys the link. And you guys tell me, maybe I'm just being, it could be me just being too hard on people. But I enjoy the stream, so it's not, and you know me, I never look for a reason to dislike content. But they're just not good at relating. We end up turning them off so many times because they're doing something annoying or, let's see if, I don't even know if anybody's streaming on a Friday, but they probably are. Let's see. Oh, now the one that is streaming, I don't know these people well. I just saw one of their streams the first time. I wanted to see if I, yeah, none of the regulars are live right at the moment. But here, let me go. These I can't. These people don't really embody what I'm talking about necessarily because I don't really know them well. Wolverine just took over as stream boss. But if you guys want to see what I'm talking about, here, let's watch this together. Here's the link. Let's just go over, anybody that wants to, let's go over and peek at this stream, see what you think. And I'll keep the chat up too so I can see what you guys are saying. The only thing is I got to turn my audio off. I don't have their audio on my stream. So let me get you guys up here so I can see the chat. See what you guys are thinking. Actually, I'm going to keep their audio on low so I can at least hear what's being discussed. Have you seen the video where the kid gets caught watching porn and keeps screaming it was a virus, Mom? That sounds familiar. Is that old Winston? Because that sounds familiar, but it sounds like something I saw a long time ago. Philip says, "Now I believe you. It's much like how some people are just really bad at streaming video games." Yeah, and again, the only reason I say I think that's the case is because I'm not critical. I
Okay.
go into things wanting to like them, and there's several
That
of the
worked
streamers,
good.
not
Those
these
actually
people, in
work good.
fairness, that I just gave you guys a link for. But there's several people that I'll watch while, and I got to turn it off. I just can't take it. Yes, Spaz Raid Money more, but now again, I don't know what led up to it, but he's just holding on the. I'm not sure where he is. Geez, usually you can take any shot of Disney World, and I can tell you,
All right, any
I
moment now we'll be watching the show.
I can't place this one. I'm not
All
sure where he is right now. Yeah, that's what I mean. At least exactly, Chrome. Just
right, so
okay. Now there he
we're
is.
just moments away from this
Here's the
starting.
stream we're
First
watching right
show,
now,
and then
guys.
we'll be ending the show. Then we're gonna head over to
Oh, he isn't. Is
the Paul.
no, that's not the Tiki Room.
Here we go. Here's the pre-show.
Is he at the? Oh, he might be at the Polynesian Resort.
Spirits of the tropics, heed our call. Descend with your rhythms.
This might be the Polynesian Resort. You see what I mean, though, Rosa? And that's why I want to do it so bad. I love streaming. You guys know that. And I love Disney World. I would love to take you guys on all the things I enjoy there. Wow. So is it? And again, and again, being completely fair, these are not people that I was talking about because they're not regulars that I've seen a lot of. But no, it's not the water park, Chrome. This I'm all I can think. It looks like it might be the Polynesian Resort. I have never seen whatever this particular display is. One Piece Short says, watch the new Meat Canyon video of Minecraft. Nah, I don't want to watch that one. Okay, that's it. I can't take any more myself. And yeah, none of the other regular streamers are on right now apparently. Huh? That's unusual. Usually Fridays. Oh, it's scheduled for later. The one group is going to be coming on at 5 p.m. Two people are coming on at 5 p.m. Okay, that's why they're all streaming later. All right. Now did you? Oh, I didn't see your comment there. Anymore. We're gonna rate the chat. Lude says. I would really like to do it again. It's just I gotta I still gotta make sure it's something financially feasible to do. I would assume Soder says, I'm really confused by the Southern talking bird with all the tiki torch aesthetic. It's really hard to find something in Disney World I haven't seen. That's why I don't think that was in a park. I'm pretty sure that was at the Polynesian Resort. And I have not stayed at the Poly since they did a complete refurb to it and everything. So I'm thinking that was a show over there. That's a nice resort. Johnny says, I think a lot of these people are saved by their chat. They don't have to be entertaining because the viewers chat amongst themselves. It's funny you say that, Johnny. I've seen a lot of that. A lot of the streamers ignore their chat. The thing that really irritates me, you guys know it's a big deal with me with super chats that everyone fuck off chain. It's just a big deal for me in general. If I'm responsible for providing something that someone's paying for, I'm going to provide it. So you guys know every super chat gets read. But I've seen them miss super chats, and not because it went too fast. I can understand that. But in a regular stream rate, or they'll just say, I'll see somebody post a question, and let's say I'm seeing Spaz Dev. They'll say something like, "Hey, Spaz Dev, thanks for the $5 super chat," and not answer his question. It's like, what part of this concept aren't you getting? That one, again, like I say, Big Green, that crew was not a good example of who I was talking about. And I don't want to give the wrong impression. Not that they're offensive. They're just, the ones I'm talking about are not good at it to the point where it gets hard to watch the stream. I won't mention names. I won't trash her. But the one lady who streams regularly, she's got this horrible, high-pitched cackle. between that and she does things that are extremely rude. There's a show in Magic Kingdom called Mickey's Philhar Magic. It's a great 3D show. It's really, really cute. She was in that just yesterday or day before, and she was talking loudly to her audience as people were trying to watch this show and screeching with that horrible laugh. I mean, just unbelievable. What's going to happen if people like that remain doing it? Disney is going to put a kibosh on streamers being in there. I could see that happening. Excuse me. Alex says, that was the most offensive stream I've ever watched. I might have PTSD after that. I just saw a live stream that's still on called Daily Dose of Disney Animal Kingdom. Oh, I didn't see that one, Leslie. I wonder why it didn't show up in my search. Huh. If that ever happened to me, I want my fucking money back, Johnny says. Yeah. That was just, it's like, how can you not see how insanely rude that is? And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. It's not that she's an offensive person, but I personally found that to be so obnoxious. I just turned the stream off and went to watch something else. Because I love that show. And you got little kids in there. You know, for a lot of people, a Disney trip is a really huge deal. It might even be a once in a lifetime. And if that's the only time they're going to get to see that show, you're going to sit there and talk loudly the entire time it's going on. I was stunned. Wood says the birds weren't real. The water was too loud. There were no bitches in the background. 0 of 10 would not rate again. Yeah, all I can figure that's got to be a show over at the Polynesian, because I didn't recognize it at all. And if it were any show in one of the Disney parks, I would have recognized it. Jack said, oh, that's pretty good, Jack. I wouldn't recognize PTSD if I had it. Just my personality at this point. Yeah, and that's the thing, Tyler. He says, streamers streaming the shows sound bad for people who haven't seen them. Right, but at least I get that, because a lot of people, we even do that. I'll watch a stream, like if there's a new ride, I'll watch streams of it before I go, because I don't worry. One thing I've learned about Disney is you can't ruin the experience, because there's nothing like actually being there. So I don't have a problem with them streaming the shows, and neither does Disney. It's just when you're rude enough to babble all through the show loudly and ruin other people's experience watching it. I mean, if it were me streaming, I'd say, okay, guys, obviously once the show starts, I'm not going to be talking, but let's watch it together. But I don't know. Rick says, those birds didn't even answer my question. Rosa says, and my dad is throwing a temper tantrum again. I hope he leaves me alone. Oh, Jesus Christ, Rosa. I hope so. That gives me just an uneasy feeling inside. SpazDev says, yeah, it's like people trying to watch a movie and you're just talking through it, but it's Disney, so it's even bigger. So it's people driving me insane. Yeah, I honestly couldn't believe she was doing it, SpazDev. I really couldn't. That's something you're taught from the time you're a little kid, and that's what I always think is, what if one of those kids next to her, this is the one and only time they're going to get to go to Disney, and this woman's cackling and screeching through the whole experience of a really cool and fun adventure in that show. Monkey King says, I mentioned I was bullied in school, but those guys are addicts now, and I have a gorgeous tiny Asian girlfriend. Curtis, you said your song to your wife is sweet. Her name is Kinley. Hi, Kinley. Oh, that's very cool, Monkey King. Yeah, living the best life is the ultimate form of revenge. Trust me, living a good life, Monkey King. I've always said that. I unfortunately never crossed paths with or found an Asian woman with low enough standards to ever have dated an Asian woman. And I just always found them to be, making generalities here, but just so attractive. I think they always seem to have that perfect skin for whatever reason, Asian women, don't they? Seems like they never age or anything. But no, unfortunately, I never.
Yeah.
I lived in a lot of different areas, parts of the country. But now I think back on it, never. I've lived in areas that had a really large Hispanic population. I lived in areas with a really big Black population, Italian population, but never really one with a big Asian population. Tall Lewis, good to see you again, pal. Hey, it's been a while, 3 years since my bus incident, but I hope I have 2 new legs and still going strong. Hope you're doing well too, pal. Tall Lewis is Tall Lewis Newcastle. He's from England, and years ago he was with us regularly, and he got hit by a bus. And what was it? Rochester, I believe, Lewis. He had to keep coming back over here to the States to get some of his surgeries done. You know, some of the medical procedures he needed were here, and I believe it was Rochester or Buffalo. Wasn't it that you were coming to? I think now. This is what I mean. Now that to me, that epitomizes what I've told you guys and verifies what I've said about how important our community is to us. I can't remember shit that I did back then. If I had to recall one of the memories from that time that were important moments in my life, I'd blank out. But I remember that from Lewis. Rochester. Lex says. Lou says people who talk during movies or shows deserve to be shot. Well, you know me, Lou. I'm all for widely expanding the death penalty, yes. Lou Morvo says, everyone remember, don't be a smooth brain. Hold your GME stonks. Philip says, this whole thing you have about Asian women reminds me of that Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come. I saw that, Philip, and I don't remember much of that. And I love Robin Williams. I remember the vivid colors, and I remember the flowers when he would touch them, how they would like dissolve into paint. But I don't remember a lot of the details of that. I can't say I really have a specific thing for Asian women other than just thinking that typically they're just stunning. And again, the whole thing with the skin always struck me. Plus, I'm a big accent fan anyway. You guys know that. I love UK accents, and I love the Japanese accents as well. Which do I like more, tacos or burritos? Well, see, the thing with me, One Piece Shorts, I'm such a boring ass that my burritos, I get them with just meat. I don't eat any veggies. I don't like the sauces. So typically burritos, because I like it soft. I like the soft shells a little better, but no matter which one I eat, it's just with the meat filling, and that's it. Notification 50 minutes later. Now that's efficiency. There we go. Andrew, I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew. This is just what we were talking about earlier. We definitely had a stream today where no timely notifications went out to speak of at all. Rosa got one, and other than that, we didn't see anybody get a timely one at all. And I was telling the gang how after the streams, people are always coming in and saying, you know, I got the stream this many hours later, this day later. I don't understand that. I have not, Monkey King. He said, have you heard of Bhutan? If I'm saying that right, that's her home country. And yes, she has smooth skin. That just seems to be a thing with Asian women. Their skin is just flawless. Let me look it up. I have not heard of Bhutan. I'm just curious where it is. Bhutan. Officially known as the Kingdom of Bhutan, is a landlocked country in the eastern Himalayas. Wow. No, let me see. Bhutan map. I just want to see exactly where it is. All right, I need an interactive map because I got to scroll way out just to get a feel for where I am here. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Nepal, Bangladesh. Wow. I had never heard of that country before. That's very cool. Very cool. Shit, my baby brother took my Switch, One Piece says. Philip says, basically in heaven, and what dreams may come, you get to look how you want. So his daughter wanted to look like an Asian stewardess because Williams' character said they were incredibly beautiful. I don't remember that part of it. That's sad, Philip. Like I said, I can remember things like some of the details about Tall Lewis. Here he is. But I can't remember things that were just, to me, I only remember things that revolve around you guys. And see, he said that was right. It was Rochester. I think it was 5 or 6 times went back and forth. I can also remember sending you the parcels and letters to PO Box. Yeah, absolutely, Lewis. God, now that pleases me that you guys, and I've said this, I've come to learn that the friends I've made here are, I was going to say as important, but far more important to me than most any friends I've made in real life. And that points it out because Lewis will tell you, we haven't spoken in quite some time. Lewis was a regular, but now I still remembered his accident, and I still remembered not only that he had to come to the U.S. for treatments, but where it was in the U.S. he came. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you know me and the brain damage, that's amazing to me that I remembered all that. So if this is a free-for-all, where are the tits? Well, I'd have to take my headset off, though. M. If you could learn and master any anime skill technique, what would it be? Ultra Instinct. Goku's Ultra Instinct. That's some cool shit. With everything that came before, I want the whole package. Cordicho says, I like your DBZA reaction videos. They're hilarious. Which character made you laugh more? In DBZA, my favorite character in DBZA is Krillin, because of the Krillin own count and stuff. Although I got to admit, he wasn't in it, obviously, as long, but Nappa made me laugh really hard, too. But yeah, Krillin's my favorite character in there. In regular Dragon Ball Z, it was Fat Boo. Jack says, at Licks and at M, sharing is caring, ladies. Where are the titties? Johnny says, must have been stored in that part of your brain that still gives a shit. Well, it's not, I would say that, Johnny, but it's not even that I got parts of my brain that don't give a shit. It's just I got parts of my brain that are just too damaged to know where they are anymore, or to know that they even exist. Well, in the respect, what I mean when I say everything that came before it, I know Ultra Instinct is its own standalone ability, but I would want the package of abilities that led up to Ultra Instinct as well. Lewis says, it's been quite some time, possibly a year or two since I was here. Been focusing on soccer. Oh, that's good, because I know that too. I know Lewis was a significant level soccer player as a young man, and obviously before the accident. Chrome says, so follow up on last June about the Promised Neverland second season being anime original. The season's only 11 episodes, and episode 5 is just a recap. What a train wreck. Jesus Christ, Chrome, why do they have to ruin that one on us? God damn it. I'm really, well, I'm sure you guys were as well, looking forward to that one. You always like fat characters. The Jack's kind. I don't think always, though, Rosa. Let me go through, because like my favorite character in One Piece is Luffy. Who else? My favorite character in Naruto was Hashirama. So I don't think always. My favorite character, like in what are we watching now? In Hajime no Ippo is Takamura. Ultra Instinct is probably good for the sex. Ooh, good point, Joe. Maybe I could actually finally bring something to the table in that regard. Might have something to do with the live action they're making for it. Oh, I don't know, Philip. I don't know. I was just so disappointed to hear, because Chrome began out laying that out for us yesterday, of how they've gone anime only with the next season. It's like, yeah, fucking wonderful. Perfect. Money in My Mind says, thoughts on Biden presidency so far? No real surprises. You know, I didn't vote for Biden because I don't agree with him on a lot of issues. And so, you know, overall, my take on his presidency isn't going to be all that positive, but it's not nothing has surprised me, but you know, it's been what I thought. I do think the Biden administration is going to lead to a significant amount of inflation in the economy, and that's one of the things I was really afraid of. And now you got them really pushing hard, the Democrats, the far left Democrats, pushing hard for the forgiveness of all student loans, and that's going to nuke the economy. Uh, M says so much blue. Yeah. Winston says Biden sucks and Trump sunks. Yeah, sucks. Yeah, you can make that case in both cases, Winston. Absolutely. Hi, crying bastard. I love that. I still love that screen name. Andrew says, what about that bill he just passed where we have to commit ritual Japanese suicide if we wiggle while watching hentai? Yeah, I know. Well, it's been a good run, but yeah, I'll be out. I'll be out shortly. If he's getting rid of the likes of me, though, can you really blame him? Newcastle Tom Lewis says, "What's going on in your country? Almost as crazy as Brexit here." Oh, and the thing is, Lewis, it's so crazy worldwide right now. I mean, a lot of it's due to the pandemic, of course, but at least it seems like we're turning a corner again on the pandemic. The cases have been on a dramatic decline now for a couple weeks, and with the vaccinations getting out there in bigger and bigger numbers, albeit much more slowly than we would have liked, hopefully we're seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Monkey King says, my Kinley hates meats videos, because it's disgusting. She said, told me not to watch. She's not wrong. He is disgusting. It's just that I love it. I love his level of disgusting. Who says there's not enough screaming in this chat for us to be Super Saiyan gods yet? And Monkey King says, why did you kill Tony Stark? Listen, I was just giving him that opportunity to have all the limelight. What does everybody remember from that final chapter? I am Iron Man. I thought it was decent of me. Hold on. The furthest I've been from home, Winston says, was Canada. I live in the shitty state of Oklahoma. Oh, I haven't been through Oklahoma. Wow, I was young last time I was through Oklahoma. Even though I live in New Mexico, I got over to Texas a lot, but never into Oklahoma. Probably. See, when my family moved to California, would have probably been the last time I was through Oklahoma, and that was a long time ago. Rosa says the entire American voting system sucks. We have first to the post-voting system, which is the worst voting system you could have. Thought of for a republic, though, in 1776, it might have seemed bright, yeah. But what's that? We have first to the post-voting. I'm not sure what you mean by the entirety of the system, though, Rosa. I'm not sure what you mean. Chrome says there's a good chance Biden's going to bail out the hedge fund idiot, so major recession is inevitable. And then those National Gun Registry wants to cause havoc. I think I can't imagine him being, well, I shouldn't say can't imagine. You can't even buy guns and ammo right now. So many people have stocked up. We saw what happened at the Capitol. Do you really, really want to call out the gun rights activists again? A gun rights registration for what? This is the thing that gets me. We've got all this back and forth about it. And the thing of it is, there's over 400 million guns in America right now. It doesn't matter what laws you pass. The people that want to do evil with them will get them. It's not that big a deal. It's not hard to get. And I don't know. It's not worth the fight. And having seen, and I completely agree with this, having seen those riots all last summer and people's homes and properties being destroyed, there's no way I'd give up a gun now, because obviously government's not going to intervene on our behalf. They pick and choose where they want to go. And in some cases, like what happened out west, they're just like, oh, they're upset. What are you going to do? Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking stop you from burning down my house. That's for goddamn sure. So you're being left to your own devices. I don't think personally it's a good idea to try and fuck around with gun laws when it's not going to make a rat's ass bit of difference in the overall gun violence anyway, because the biggest majority of gun violence in the country, of course, is in inner cities and gangs, and it's not going to make an impact. Those guns aren't legal to begin with. Phillips says, latest Trudeau fuckery. Canada started out as a leader in vaccine stockpiled. He ended up giving most of it away. Now he's begging for it from a fund supposedly to supply to developing countries. Trudeau's big thing is, it just seems like, to me at least, Philip, as an observer from the South, he just seems to be like one of these doofuses you see on Twitter where what they say and do is strictly geared to try and get themselves comfortably into the arms of the mob. And that's unfortunate when it's the leader of your nation that has that type of mentality. Chrome says he's already writing the bill for an $800 license fee in a national gun registry. He saw the capital stupidity as an opportunity. See, I think it's the opposite. I understand that perspective, but I don't think that what you saw in the Capitol is the willingness of people, whether it be well thought out or not, to take up arms when they're pushed too far. And I don't think he's got a chance in hell of getting it through, because you've got a 50-50 split in the Senate, and Joe Manchin, for one, and several other senators, I believe if they voted for it, will be done, and they know it, and I don't think for political expediency they will. So it could be a case of he knows that, and he's just trying to make it look good for his, the far left portion of his party who keeps putting pressure on him, because I don't think he's got a chance in hell of getting a national gun registry through. Monkey King says we hear more about American politics here in the news in Canada than our own politics. It's funny, I've had people from several different parts of the world tell me that same thing, Monkey King. They get more American news than they do their own. Soder says a lot of illegal guns come from originally legal sources, so having restrictions there would in fact make it much harder for them to obtain them for legal activity. What? Okay, they come from originally legal sources. So now you're talking about a whole different thing, Soder. So how difficult do you want to make it be for someone to own a gun? Because all we're talking about now is a national registry. So now you're talking about making it extremely difficult to own a gun. And you think that with 400 million of them already in circulation, that somebody that wants to do bad things can't get it? Is there anything in life that's illegal that you can't get if you want it? Can you get crack? Can you get, cocaine? Can you get any drug if you want to go look for it? But for some reason, guns are the bugaboo. You're not going to be able to get guns? What are you talking about? That didn't even make sense. Okay, so they were originally from legal sources. So what are you saying? There's not going to be any more legal sources? That was just like a general rambling statement. But I'll watch. I don't know exactly what you mean about that. So no more legal guns? Because that would be the only way that what you said would have any effect on people that want to do ill being able to get them. You don't think there'll be a black market for them because you've hindered the legal market for them? That seems a little naive. Yeah, like Chrome says, you can print 3D guns now. This is stupid. You can even print metal now, and it's just getting cheaper, easier, and faster. Yeah. You're right. It's really, really easy to get a firearm. Says, I'm a responsible gun owner. I've only been responsible for 5 accidental deaths so far. Not bad, Licks. Yeah, you're still under half a dozen. That's nothing. Chrome says, I agree with you on that. I'm just saying that they saw it. I do think the gun rights thing. Yeah, I agree with Chrome. I think that's a chip away, process. More than anything else. I know that on the left and even the far left will tell you, no. Nobody wants to take your guns away. It's always, oh no, I'm a gun owner. I don't want to take your guns away. I just want to do this. But I think it's like it's with a bigger plan in mind. And now I don't even own any guns that would be affected, because for my home defense, I have a shotgun, because I don't plan on chasing anybody down the street with it if I have to use my gun in home defense, it's going to be at relatively close range. So obviously shotguns are never on the chopping block anyway. I just don't think, especially with this country the way it is now, and what we've seen over this past year with riots and politicians being unwilling to do anything to protect the people from the rioters, I don't think this is the time you start limiting people's access to guns. We have a societal issue here in America, not a gun issue. Just like with school shootings, you can blame the inanimate object they used to act out with or to take lives with, but the fact remains a child wanting to kill a bunch of other children is the core issue, and that's what needs to be addressed. Let's see. You don't have to go balls to the walls for restrictions, but the average Joe doesn't know how to get to the black market, but they might have people, friends who bought it legally. So you're still being vague. You still haven't gotten specific. See, these are the types of things that drive me nuts when people want to identify what they see as a problem, but you don't have a solution. So you don't have to go balls to the wall. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is there anybody that wants to have a gun for their home self-defense that now can't have it? So you got to be way more specific. They might not know how to get to the black market. Somebody who now we're talking about mass murderers here. We're talking about school shooters, something along those lines. Those people they're going to be frustrated. They've come to a point in their life where they want to take a bunch of lives with a gun. But they're going to be frustrated because, I don't have any friends that have one. I'll have to really do some research and looking around and everything. And so, but explain. I mean, if you want to have a stance, what's the stance? What does balls to the wall mean? Who can have one and who can't? Who gets to decide that? You? What are your restrictions you want to put on them? I don't like the identification of issues and then being very vague on the solutions. Again, 400 million guns in circulation right now, without having to import any from anywhere else. If there was a complete gun ban tomorrow, you already got 400 million here, and you think people with evil intentions are not going to be able to get a gun. Let me explain something else to you. I've said this all along, and unfortunately, it's played out a couple places. There are times where you may have saved lives because somebody could get a gun. Because when people have snapped and gone that far over the edge and they want to take a bunch of lives, for the most part, particularly in a crowded area, a gun isn't the most expeditious way to do it. There are way, way more easier ways to take out a lot of people. Again, in a public forum, I'm not going to be irresponsible enough to mention them, but I'll say that if you can't think of them on your own, just find any list of mass killings throughout the world, and you'll see specific incidents of what I'm talking about. Guns aren't even particularly effective. That's what people go to in America because, like you said, a lot of people believe it's too easy to get them. You're not going to stop somebody from wanting to kill a bunch of people because you took away choice A. Choice B might even be more deadly. Jack says, I don't agree with guns, but you can't take them away now. It would be awful. The bad people wouldn't give them up. Like Curtis said, you can get them illegally. Best to have it controlled. Well, that's what I'm saying, too. It's long past the point of being able to take them away now, Jack. And again, we've got a societal issue here. There are a lot of bad people in this country who will kill you with a gun for a myriad of reasons. And as an individual, if you don't want to take defense against that in the respect of having a gun, that's fine. That's your choice. But it should also be your choice to want to take that route and be able to defend yourself. And that's not going to go away. Doesn't matter how many gun laws you make, because again, the bad guys aren't registering their weapons. And as Chrome mentioned too, with it being even easier now just to create your own, all you have to do is take something away, and then the underworld market will come in and fill that void. That's not a question. It's how it always happens. Goose Wolverine says, gun owner here, want them? Show me a warrant. At this point, let's hope it stays to that point. Hold on here. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up on the whole thing. Yeah. Walmart still sells gun, Leslie, but they're typically out of them right now. You can't. I, from what I understand, well, I know I was just in a Walmart the other day, and the gun racks are still there, but that they were empty in our Walmart, and the ammo aisle is just like wiped right out. Soder says, Chrome, that's not really an argument against guns. It's just saying, well, you can use other things. So isn't the fact that you can use other things an argument against taking away guns? I would say that's actually spot on. Because why don't you ask the people, what was the city in France with the guy with the, was it a rental truck or a bus? I mean, what do you mean it's not an argument? Sure it is. It's an argument against restricting guns on the basis that they're going to be used for mass murders when there are much more effective means of committing mass murders. It's very specifically pertinent to it. Rosa says there are more school shootings by population in Europe than in America, the least in Switzerland, which is the most armed country in Europe. Yeah, pretty much everybody in Switzerland has a gun, don't they? I thought I read that somewhere. Note that my source for the statement isn't the best, though. No, I can't remember if it was Switzerland. There's one country where pretty much everybody is armed. I remember reading. I thought it was Switzerland. The thing, again, my stance on the whole thing is, by focusing on the guns as much as we do, we just completely lose focus of the problem is that we've got a real issue with violence here in America. We've got a whole, that's why people say, well, how come there are, Japan has strict gun laws and they don't have the problem with guns that we do. It's not a gun issue, it's a societal issue because for whatever reason, the way they live their society, the kids aren't growing up wanting to kill. The kids aren't getting pushed into a corner or bullied or this, that, or the other, and with no other option in their mind but to kill the other children. That's our problem. We've got the gang issues in the major cities. I don't know. How do you get around that? How do you stop that? I don't know. How do you change the that lifestyle, that way of thinking? Fists and feet are protecting. Just got to learn how to use them. Yeah, Dragon Spears. And as somebody who, well, I've gotten old now, I knew a lot of ways to protect myself physically. I would still lose to a gun. Or, again, in a situation where there's somebody who wants to commit an atrocity and take out a lot of people at the same time, if I'm in that crowd when, again, I'm not going to give the specifics, but that action is taken, doesn't matter how good I am with my fists or my feet, I'm going just like everybody else. Xeno Kane says, US, am I right? Hey, Mui Goku? MUI Goku? We're just talking about Ultra Instinct, too. Just a little while ago. Philip says, there's a reason that the most used murder weapon is a kitchen knife. Plus, despite the high conviction rate in Japan, it's because the police only prosecute open and shut cases. Oh, really? That I didn't know, Philip. Is that true? Yeah, I know there's a lot of knife violence over there. Again, a weapon is as deadly as the person using it and how skilled they are with it. If you just got a random lunatic running around with a knife, chances are, I mean, it's not going to be good, but you can probably get them taken down before there's too much carnage. If you have somebody skilled with a plan with a knife, they can easily take out as many or more people than they will with a gun. It all depends on the individual and their intentions. Are there any restrictions on who can buy guns currently? Yeah, there are some, Niall, and a lot of it depends. It's state by state. There are some federal laws, but a lot of state laws regarding guns and ownership. So now, for instance, to have a pistol in New York, and I believe all the states now, you have to have a permit. There's a specific process you have to go through. You can own a rifle without any licensing issues whatsoever. Plus, where I am too, the vast majority of our population around here are all hunters, so they all have guns for their hunting and stuff. But that's, for pistols, there are specific processes everyone must go through. For rifles, no, not so much. Chrome says, if someone wants to kill you, they'll find a way. Heard of the killdozers? Over the last few decades, people made their own homemade tanks and destroyed towns with them in a rage. Anger finds a way. Sure. That's, again, as sad as it is, if somebody wants to take out a lot of people, guns are not a particularly effective or imaginative way to do it. They just aren't. They aren't. Unless, as I've said, you're trained with it. If you're just some random that's like, I'm going to take out a bunch of people, and you go get a gun, it's going to be bad, but it's not going to be as bad as it might be with the other things that you could put into the hands of an unskilled person. Tyler says, guns and drugs are very similar, with cartels controlling most of the illegal stuff coming into America and would be solved by making it legal. The only issue I'd have with the legalization of the drugs, Tyler, is we're already so... I don't have a problem with anything being legal as long as it's not going to... As long as if it directly affects adversely someone else's life or livelihood, there needs to be strict consequences. But it's like, even with our DUI laws the way they are now, I know personally of someone who on their third DWI, jumped a median to go into an oncoming lane, hit somebody head on and killed them, and got 5 years in prison. So when you legalize something like drugs, and whatever that drug may be, if you're not going to punish people significantly for misusing them, that's where I have an issue with them being legalized. Because right now we're not doing a good job of it when it comes to drinking and driving. I can't believe that. And again, this is an actual case study. I know the person it happened to. Killed this poor guy who had a wife and a couple kids in a head-on his third DWI conviction. They let him out in 5 years. That was his sentence. It's not like he even got out early. That was his sentence. 5 years, and he served 5 years. We're just screwed up as a society. We really are. Now, that goes same with guns too. If you use a gun in an act to hurt someone else, I believe you throw the book at them, put them away. Moneymore says there needs to be much heavier restriction on guns, at the very least, so these deranged people can't get to them. Okay, again, you guys are talking in generalities, Money. What restrictions? You can't, when you identify a problem and then you just make general statements about the solution, it's not a solution. What kind of restrictions are going to stop deranged people from getting them? Mind you, again, 400 million guns in circulation in America right now, a thriving black market in guns that's been in existence for decades. What restrictions are going to stop the deranged people from getting them? Go. Because if you got the answer, there's a lot of people waiting to hear it. Soder says, I generally agree societally we need to change about things. I think something like a bit more universal background checks would be good. Hard to get nuance in this amount of text. I don't have a problem with background checks. I've never had a problem with that. I think that's one place where I depart from the gun enthusiast. I don't think a background check is different than keeping a registry. That's government has enough power as it is. I'm not big on a registry, but a background check one and done before owning a gun, I don't have a problem with that. But I'll tell you, and I don't know what other states' laws are, because the shotgun I have now I just bought a few months ago. They did a background check on me before I bought it. So I can't speak to all individual state laws, but they exist here in New York anyway, because they did a background check on me. I don't have a problem with those. But again, I do think that this constant discussion about guns takes away from the actual issue, which is that there are a lot of really violently demented people in this country, a very significant number of them. Let's see what else we got on the old gun debate. Background checks exist already. Yeah, that's what I was saying, like Rosa said. And again, I can tell you guys that from experience, at least in New York, just to buy a shotgun, which is not on anybody's radar for taking out of the hands of people, I had to have a background check. Wolverine says, heal me. I've also had alcohol problems before. Understandable. Shelby says, I do believe in reasonable gun control, but I certainly don't trust our current government to enact that. That's a lot of the problem in general, Shelby, with anything. Now, we can take this beyond guns. Our government is just not good at policy making or policy enforcing. They just aren't. We have such a dysfunctional government, and I can't say just us. I think that's pretty much worldwide. But yeah, it sucks that we can't have any faith in them to do things right, or do things even as in the manner in which they said they were going to do it. Money Moore says, okay, let's go. How about approval by a licensed therapist every month the gun is owned? So for someone to own a gun, they have to go to a therapist each and every month to discuss. That's Money More. And if you're offended, I can't help it. That's one of the most moronic things I've ever heard in my life. Why? And in an instant, which generally speaking, when someone snaps and kills a bunch of people with a gun, it's an instantaneous thing. It's not always, like the Las Vegas shooter planned it out for ages, but it's typically where someone got enraged and snaps. How is that once a month going to do it? And so you're saying that a licensed therapist is going to be able to determine everyone's potential for violence? I'll read that again for anybody that doesn't believe it. How about approval by a licensed therapist every month the gun is owned? So basically what you're saying is people shouldn't own guns. If that's what you feel, just come out and say it. Get rid of guns, because that's moronic. That's idiotic. People shouldn't be on the hook for that. There's no reason that people shouldn't be allowed to own guns for their own protection, especially in the violent society we live in. So because I keep that shotgun and I keep it secured in my home to defend myself if someone were to come in and want to harm my family, you think I should have to go to a therapist every month? Get the fuck out of here. Monkey King says it's societal, Curtis. Bhutan has no murders. It's peaceful, some weird people there, but no murders. Yeah, we definitely have a societal issue here. There's no question. We have a significant societal issue here. And I wish I did. I don't have the answers to that. I don't know how we change like the culture of the inner cities and try and make people understand that there are better options for them, or create better options for them than joining gangs and being a part of that life. I think we're making efforts to make our children understand that there are superior ways to deal with their emotions and to deal with conflict, but there's definitely a violent edge to our society for whatever reasons. Niall says every month is a bit extreme. I'd say that's way more than a bit extreme. That's ridiculous. So in other words, you're going to put that onus on the 99.999% of gun owners who own their guns for hunting or for home defense and are never going to harm another person or even be in the realm of ever considering harming another person with them. They should all take on that onus because some people use that inanimate object for vile means. What about stabbings? I mean, I don't have it offhand, but I know there are a lot of stabbing deaths in America every year, and a lot of them are in the home setting, are domestic violence. Should anybody that lives with other people have to be evaluated once a month to make sure they don't take a knife and stab someone? Why just the guns? I don't understand why it should be only the one specific inanimate object. Hell, you guys know my history in fighting, martial arts, stuff like that. If I was a psycho and wanted to hurt my wife, I don't need anything but my hands. What do we do to stop me? Should everybody just start hitting that psychologist every month? Boy, there'd be a boon for the psychological field. They'd be raking it in. 80% of U.S. is going to therapy. I don't think it's that high, Xeno Games, but but it's a significant number, and maybe not even as high as it needs to be. Going nowhere says, Curtis, do you have any good ideas on how to prevent further school shootings and things of that nature? I wish I did. Going nowhere. I mean, I have ideas, but they're not revolutionary. Just what I talked about. I mean, I think that anytime, what I would like to see, it doesn't seem like it's connected, but to me it is. And I've said this before, I would like to see schools, once you get to the high school level, concentrate a lot more on preparing kids for life than some of the requiring them to take some of the subjects that the vast majority of them are never going to have a use for again. You make those subjects available for the kids that want to go into that field, but I would like to see a lot more kids coming out of school with a good idea of what to expect. I'd like to know that every kid that went to high school understands the concept of how to make a smart buying decision about their college. I would like every kid that goes to high school to have an understanding of how interest rates work, because a lot of this gets connected. Because you have a lot of violence because people get in over their heads financially and things like that, and then they don't see any way out and they lose it. I would like to see high school curriculum available to those who want to talk to a person in the psychological field about what to expect within relationships and how relationships go bad and why and things to look for. That's, as far as solutions that aren't being implemented, that's the best ones I have, because again, I think it's a societal thing. And I think if you can get to kids when they're young, when they're still in high school, I think you get a big leg up on potential violence. Oh yeah, they do. Rosa says, aren't suicides with guns still being counted as gun deaths? Yes, they do count them. And again, technically they are gun deaths, but again, you're going to take guns away from people because that's the method someone chose to off themselves. Like if they didn't have that gun available, they were just going to choose life and not go step in front of a train, jump off a bridge. Let's see. Second Boy says, thankfully in my high school, there's a class called Jobs for Maine Graduates, which is about stuff like getting a job, bank accounts, finance, really good support. I'm all for that. I think that would be huge. I don't understand why we don't do that. And you guys are way closer to your high school years than am I. I think you'll agree with me. A lot of the stuff that are requisites in high school are stuff that the average kid, or a significant number of requisites, the average kid is never going to use again. There's places for that education. Nathan says, for those who say the video games create mass shooters, Dr. Phil says there's no research that suggests that. And I agree with that. Again, even in my era, we grew up playing violent games using our imaginations. You played Cowboys and Indians, and you were shooting one another, and you played all this stuff. And you did it with your own imagination, but you knew the difference between real life violence and what you were portraying, and fortunately the vast majority of people do. I think that anybody that harms another person based on what they saw in a video game was unfortunately going to take that action regardless, because it's not excuse me, I don't think an otherwise rational mind can be corrupted to that point. Let's see. Tyler says, what about people that got arrested for just weed? Do they deserve to lose the right to own a gun? I don't believe so. No, I don't think so, Tyler. I don't think that's showing bad enough judgment to, not when you also don't take it away. Well, some states do. I think they take away your ability to own a gun if you get a DWI. But no, in any event, no. Considering that, and I'm not a pot smoker, never have been, never will be, but most people take it just to mellow out and chill out. I can't see punishing them for that. No, I don't agree with that. Philip says, Japan doesn't have guns and their suicide rate is sky high. I did hear their suicide rate is really high. Kitchen harakiri, jumping off a building, drowning. There's actually a manual for suicide in Japan. Really? I didn't know that, Philip. Wow. Niall says, I agree with not taking guns away fully, but some people, like people who serve prison time, should not be legally allowed to buy. I don't have a problem with the restrictions, Niall. I don't mean to suggest that. I know a lot. I differ with the gun rights groups on this as well. I think if you are convicted of a felony domestic violence, that should immediately, well, I think any felony you can. I should take that a step further. Any domestic violence conviction, I don't think you should own a gun. Because if you've committed a domestically violent act, you're already saying that you don't make good decisions in times of stress and you'll harm others. So no, I don't. I don't have a problem with restrictions. I think everybody in the country should legally have that right to own one initially, and I think your actions can absolutely take that privilege away from you. Yes, I agree with. And again, in the respect that if you've demonstrated something in your life that tells us that you can't be trusted to not get violent, then yes, you probably don't need to have a gun. Giggity Goo says, would this be a bad time to make a seppuku joke then? Excuse me. Monkey says, what if it's a non-violent felony like mine? See, yeah, that's again where I part with a lot of people, because I think it should have to be a violent crime. If you got a felony money laundering charge, I don't think that should stop you from owning a gun when you get out. I think to have your rights to a gun taken away, it should be because you have specifically shown that you cannot be trusted to not lose your cool and harm someone else, that you don't have a problem with harming someone else in a fit of rage. Let's see. Chrome says people really don't want to look at the person when something bad happens. They want scapegoats and easy answers. Same with politics. Absolutely true. It's not that simple. Some people are just messed up. That's 100% true, Chrome. And I really do believe, I think that every time there is a shooting, the whole debate about the gun control issue completely takes away from anybody taking a serious look at why are people doing this? What's making people want to kill other people, and why so many of them? You can no matter which tool you take away from someone, they will find another if they're demented enough to want to kill a bunch of people. Philip says, I found out about the suicide manual in a book written by an American journalist who worked the police beat in Japan. It's in the top 10 best-selling manuals in Japan after ones about sex. At least they got their priorities straight. It should be after the ones about sex. Good priority system anyway, Philip. Oh, guys, I gotta go. This was a phenomenal stream. Thank you guys so much for the laughs, for the real conversation. Yeah, well, like laughs aren't real conversation. For the more hardcore conversations, I appreciate it all. I love our streams. I especially love our free for all Fridays. That's I just have such a good time with this. And again, because of all that, and despite what happened to poor little Jimmy Ito, Jimmy Ito did not take the quality of the sticky stuff down. It's prime free for all Friday sticky stuff. We did talk about guns a lot today, so that inspires the sticky stuff to come out at a higher velocity. So if you've got your official sticky stuff goggles, you might want to put them on for this one, because you don't want to take one of these to the eye. There's going to be some projectiles here. Here it is, free for all Friday sticky stuff. Pampu pampu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Pampu pampu, sticky stuff for everybody. Oh, that shit's coming out of there in a hurry, because we'll bang. Okay, flashing like buggy, and as always, most importantly, guns, no guns. Knives, no knives. Buses, no buses. It don't matter. It's always the same. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.